This is things you might not have heard. I am Jacob Payne, and boy, do I have news for you this morning as I produce this. Coming to you live 5:30 a.m. Central Time here out of Central Arkansas, Little Rock to be exact. And I have somehow managed to squeeze 12 stories in the queue. Yes, this is not exaggeration. We took one story, put five into it because a whole lot of Trump happened yesterday, and we just could not skip it all. So we've got to sit back, make sure you got hydration, make sure you stretch. We got a long ways to go today, buddy. Get you into the news stories, including a whole lot of Trump, some John Krasinski just being so darn sexy, Darius Rucker being hooty, I guess, and more stories. 12 total stories essentially in the mix. Technically, it's 8, but we're going to call it 12. The vetting process will be explained at the end of the headlines presentation. So we'll tell you how we get these stories into this program. But I'm going to remind you right now about our website. This is conversationproject.com. Find more details about how we do these things every single day here on the Shizzo, and email us with your comments, concerns, and sometimes questions on our own sanity at the conversation inbox at jclevelandpayne. I'm sorry, at gmail.com. Also, email me at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. That's my personal email address. You can also prepare for this Thursday, November 14th, if not said so far, of 2024. That's today. No particular order as these stories came in. They came on all over the place. We gathered them. Well, it's not particular. Today, we tried to put all the Trumpy stuff on the front end. So we have a whole lot of Trump, 10 minutes of Trump to get these things started. So let's get into it right now. Seriously, we got a whole lot to get into. Starting off with headline number 1. And this is the actual thing that's the most important thing, the actual newsy part of the show. And this is the big meeting, the reconciliation, if you will, between Donald Trump and Joe Biden as they met together for the meeting, for the invited meeting to the White House for Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden invited Donald Trump to the White House. That is great. That is awesome. That is cool. Remember, Donald Trump did not actually invite Joe Biden to the White House after Joe Biden beat him 4 years ago. Now they met what should have been a 10-minute kind of shake hands, and then Donald Trump goes off to talk to other folks. Turned into a longer deal, a very long ordeal, about 90 minutes, I believe they said it turned into, when all said and done, on the day. We will see what comes about this, because in a moment we'll see about all the other things that sort of happened in the meantime. But what we have for you today is a handshake, some pictures. We don't know what's going behind the scenes. There weren't any aides behind there, just the two of them. Reconciliation, basically, was called. That's what Trump called it. He called it reconciliation. They came together. They came to an agreement. There's pictures of them walking, pictures of them doing things together. And all is well with the world. Maybe. Because coming up in a few months, the Trump presidency for 47 begins. And right now, the roller coaster that is Trump world is already set off to go bonkers. Because let's go to headline number 2, which is technically headlines 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 stories in one, 5 people in one. The 5-headed monster that is Trump appointees, or people that were being at least advertised and nominated, people he wants to be in his cabinet, people wants to be in his inner circle. Some aren't real cabinet positions. As Trump nominated 5 people to join his team specifically yesterday, all of them had people kind of wondering where he was going with this one. One of the earliest ones we mentioned yesterday, because it happened like late enough then as of the posting, was Pete Hegseth, who's for Secretary of Defense. He is the current Fox News host, the Sunday host on Fox and Friends. He is a decorated military veteran. He's a big-time speaker in the MAGA sort of wing and stuff, and he did an interview literally last week talking about how women should not be in combat. He also is beginning hits by many people saying, who the hell is this guy? No one knows who he is. Has he actually run anything like the Pentagon? And who the hell he is, who is, what's going on, what does he know, and has he run anything like the Pentagon? Yes, he's done a lot of things for veterans' rights and veterans groups, but has he run the large operation that the Pentagon is? And can a person who's just doing commentary actually get the thing done that must be done to defend the nations and this world of folks? Also on that list, Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard, who was a former Democrat and ran for president 8 years ago, now independent more or less, and standing by the side of Trump, and Trump is making her his, hopefully, Director of National Intelligence. The word again the street about that Tulsi Gabbard is she's still a Russian agent, and she's still kind of a spy, and she's still kind of weird and creepy. And so putting her in charge of these things, plus the things she don't know, are a little bit outside of the things she actually does know, and things she says, so sort of cozying up to dictator type folks saying, not all that bad. may not work so well when we actually deal with the actual intelligence we deal with in our nation. Next up, the real sort of shocker is Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Now, a lot of things set this off right now. Matt Gaetz, who did not get indicted, did not get prosecuted for the investigation on him and the underage girl thing. Yes, that was a thing, but it was still dealing with the ethics commission for being in Congress. So yesterday, he resigned from Congress, so Congress has no reason to produce an ethics commission report, because if that were in paper, it'd be hard to confirm him. Also, Donald Trump wants a recess appointment. So if Congress goes home for the weekend, he can write this up, and Matt Gaetz is his secretary, or Matt Gaetz, is Attorney General. He also means he has the rights to see all the articles that were against him when they were chasing him down. And he's essentially literally the lapdog of Donald Trump to do whatever he wants to. This guy basically had the speech about a year and a half ago at a CPAC type event where he wanted to, tear down the FBI, the CIA, Boys and Men, ABC, BBD. He wanted them all tore down because if they weren't going to heal, his words, to the administration, they needed to go away. Those are scary people. The scariest of the people, let's talk to people who really don't have any technical power because a new commission's being built. The Department of Government Efficiency, which, of course, the acronym is DOGE. You can see where I'm going with that one. It's Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. We're going to go find ways to cut government waste and spending. $2 trillion is essentially on the key for them to get rid of, and they're going to start by essentially firing people, because that's how you get rid of people in companies. These people are businessmen, and when they need to make money, they fire people. So let that wash over you for a while. These 5 people I just named have been nominated for roles in the government. Now, Marco Rubio stuff was popped up yesterday, and everybody's like, wow, that's pretty good. We think he's going well, this one. Then these 5 came out. You may have high hopes for the Trump administration. You may have high hopes for these folks here, but I'm just going to say, honestly, I don't. We'll see how many folks get their actual due to get these jobs. We'll see if these are just basically putting folks out there so that the Congress will have to approve them. The first loyalty pledge to Trump is putting out people that are kind of crazy. Matt Gaetz, the really crazy one out of this batch, and making sure that the Republicans actually do heal and give fealty to Donald Trump with these picks. Now, remember, Ramaswamy and Musk don't necessarily need any sort of confirmation. You can just make this thing up and they can just do stuff. The other 3 official members of the cabinet must have some sort of hearings to talk about what they're going to do. We'll see if they make the cut. No one makes a cut every single time. It is Kid Rock. Kid Rock is he's a staunch MAGA guy. He's definitely backing Donald Trump, but he's trying to get people to understand what we're dealing with right now. Kid Rock, and the headline we have for him for yesterday is that he tells his fellow Trump supporters, the MAGA folks, this is a quote, most of our left-leaning friends are good people. In the wake of the Donald Trump recent election victory, musician Kid Rock is out there standing up for his man, that's DJT, the supporter of the former president, and released a video addressing fellow Trump supporters with a message of unity, message of coming together. He right now is coming together better than the actual guy who should be making us come together. But he told his fellow Trump supporters in the message, he emphasized the importance of unity and urged against gloating over the election results, stating that we must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things we want in life, simply think differently on how to get there. He also called for an extensive olive branch to unite all reasonable people of the nation, everyone out there. The conciliatory tone coming from Rock, Mr. Kid, if you will, can contrast with often provocative public persona, him yelling and screaming and stuff like that, and highlights the desire to bridge political divides. Because when you win, it's easy to say we should come together. When you lose, it's not so easy. You're seeing that right now on the Democratic side, where everybody's finding ways to point fingers and blame Joe Biden even more for the loss. But what we have right here is conciliatory talk, which is nice talk. The biggest issue is there's scary talk because of the 5 guys I said in the last story that may be in charge of things going forward. My opinion, I will say, but we do have a lot of people questioning the actual validity of those choices, both Republicans, although some not as loud as others, and just general public people. Pundits are all sort of wacky about those 5. Not so wacky about Kid Rock. They already have their opinion on Kid Rock, and Kid Rock trying to make things better. Thanks, Kid. Now, let's go to story we have at number 4, and then definitely take the shades off and go bonkers altogether. Now, My mother-in-law sent this to me late yesterday, and I posted it. I actually had things shifted and posted earlier than I thought I could because I wanted to make sure I get some reaction last night. And oh boy, did you guys get on this one? The headline for the fourth story is "How to Change My Vote" searches spike in states won by Donald Trump. Work with me for this one right now. The lead up to the presidential election had all sorts of craziness, but in the actual ending of it, with the results now in, and pretty much we know Donald Trump is there, there have been a 435% increase, 435% increase in Google searches for this base of the term, "How to Change My Vote." So Google wants to figure out how to change my vote. The surge in interest was particularly evident in states where Trump won. Essentially, in the places where the red won out overall, people are trying to figure out how to change their vote. You can read what you want into it because it's really easy to read what you want into this, but it's odd. It's people made a decision. People went to the polls. People cast their ballots, and now some of the wackiness is now coming back to them, and they're realizing, oh yeah, it really was kind of weird back when he was in charge. And so now they want to change their vote. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it's just them trolling us going forward and making it look like they want to troll the libs, the blues, and I'm independent. So it's just kind of like, what the hell are you people doing right now? But maybe it's just a big, simple trolling of millions of people, 435% of people out there who want to put this out there to add to this term for something that's really, really not making any sense. Your mileage may vary on this one. This was been a very odd Trumpy day along the way yesterday, and we had a lot of things to get into. So we want to make sure they are there. The biggest thing is who's he got in charge, which is important. The fact that he got together with Biden and they had a nice little chat together, longer chat than thought. And people want to know how to change their votes in states where Donald Trump won. Now, maybe it's people who want to be on the winning side because they don't want to be outcasted by their neighbors, or maybe they're people who are just now realizing this might be a bumpier ride than I thought it was, just to get the eggs to go down. We shall see. A bumpy ride for the first half of this cast. I apologize. Some of the pieces had some computer issues, had some resets and refreshes, and some things going our way. So this was supposed to be one of the grandest first halves because it was all covering a kind of a big Trump theme there, and plus it with all the actual picks there. So this may not be one of the better ones, but go to our website, look for some replays of stuff, or keep looking with us. And we're asking you to help us grow what we have here at the Conversation Project. I want you to like the stuff we're doing, like this in particular. It may not be the best one out there, but like the video so people can see with social proof how well we're doing, how well they should check out with us. Share some of the stories, share some of the videos, the headlines with other people you know, so they can get what's going in, what we're getting out there, and have more people in the conversation. And of course, subscribe on good days, subscribe on bad days, subscribe on all days. We need more subscribers going forward. We hit a great milestone in I'm gonna just do the promo stuff here early. We did a great milestone where we almost got the numbers for our subscription numbers and our hours for watch time for YouTube to get the real monetization for ads. And because of just kind of the ebb and flow of things and just having kind of a week in itself, we're starting to lose some momentum. So we need more people to watch us, need more people to check what's going out. We were hoping today was going to be a big one with the Trump stuff. The words come in my mouth essentially are kind of ruining that one. But give us a like, give us a share, subscribe to us so that we're in your feed so we get more of us to us. We have good days, we have bad days, we have good news. Today was a great news day. Unfortunately, a bad presentation day. We will work on that going forward. More calls to action and more begging for stuff coming at the end of the show. So no, we're not done yet. But we are back to the news. Very sad story coming in at headline number 5. Headline reading, man found dead in tanning bed at Indianapolis Planet Fitness. A 39-year-old man named Darius Sink was found deceased in a tanning booth at a Planet Fitness gym in Indianapolis 3 days after he was reported missing. So make note of that. Gym members detected the foul odor leading to the discovery of his body. Authorities noted that a needle was found inside Sink, and the family acknowledged his struggle with drug use. An ankle monitor indicated that he entered the gym on Friday and never exited. Should have been kind of your first clue, but we'll go deeper into this rabbit hole. Planet Fitness expressed deep sadness over the incident and is cooperating with local authorities on their investigation. Cause of death remains under investigation. No foul play is suspected at this time. Like I said, clues like a ankle monitor saying he went into the place, and a tanning bed being on for, maybe probably wasn't on for the time, you just hid there, being closed and nobody checking it, meaning nobody cleaned it, which also says some things about your Planet Fitness there in Indianapolis. Sorry for you guys who use that place, but we're going to find out more of this one. This was a Facebook push story because this one did not quite have the X juice, but on Facebook, this one was blasted way over there. People want to know about this one going forward. We are saddened, and all jokes aside, mourning the loss of Mr. Sink and this family, who are, of course, dealing with this tragic incident. But it also goes to show that sometimes all it takes is paying a little bit of attention to handle things. Our next story. Now, yesterday, Congress was getting work done, actually doing things, actually being accomplished and stuff. They got a chance to vote in a new speaker, or a new Senate majority leader, which would be John Thune, not one of the MAGA back guys by Donald Trump. There's something there. The Republicans nominated Mike Johnson again for next term as Speaker of the House. They can't vote until, basically a couple of weeks, and everybody's showing up for that one. And of course, then they went and saw all the nominations that Donald Trump put forth to say, well, I guess we'll see. You know what else got done yesterday? Hearings. You know what hearing got done yesterday? UF freaking O's, or as you call them now, UA freaking P's. Experts testify before lawmakers that the U.S. is running secret UAP programs. Yes, the government's actually running these things. We're not just trying to figure out who's out there. We got the goods. We got the stuff. We just ain't telling nobody. Recent congressional hearings have brought to light allegations that the U.S. government is operating clandestine programs related to unidentified aerial phenomena, the UAPs, commonly known as UFOs. Former military and intelligence officers are saying and testifying in front of Congress for the world to see that the existence of secretive crash retrieval and reverse engineering initiatives exist. They're actually trying to build them. Luis Esperanza, a former Department of Defense official, claimed that the advanced technologies are not made by any government, monitoring sensitive military installations to make sure that they cannot see what other people are trying to find out. Similarly, retired Navy Rear Admiral Tim Gallant recounted witnessing a video of an inexplicable flying object during naval training exercises. These testimonies have intensified calls for greater transparency and oversight on UAP-related activities. The Pentagon, however, maintains that UFO sightings are explainable, not extraterrestrial, though some do remain unexplained. The government is now taking steps to, like I said, make sure this UAP studies, these things are being more transparent to the people, to the us, the actual U.S. us. The governments, both Republicans, both Democrats, this is a really bipartisan issue. Everybody wants us to know about the UFOs. Everybody wants in on this one. We shall see. Mulder, Scully, guess what? We see you. We see you. You know who else we see right now? Friggin' Jim, Jack Ryan, John Krasinski, who has been nominated and has won and is your new reigning, defending sexiest man alive per People magazine for 2024. His role as Jim Halpert, Jim, is basically what made him iconic. And then he took over as the new Jack Ryan and went buff. And now, with a little help from, I guess, some good news in a pandemic, he is now People's sexiest man alive at A Quiet Place as well. Announcements made on Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where Krasinski humorously accepted the honor. He joked that his wife, Emily Blunt, laughed upon hearing the news and quipped that the title might have gone better if it actually will lead to more chores around the house. Now, other accomplished names includes Patrick Dempsey, Chris Evans, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and of course, that guy Tom Cruise. So this is pretty good standing to be in. Jim has made the pantheon of sexy men. Happy sexy man-ish time. Way to go, Jim. Yes, Jack Ryan. Yes, A Quiet Place, but we all know it's Jim. Could have been worse. Could have been Chuck. It could have been Chuck. And wrapping up this morning and the news and the cast for the day, which has been a bit disastrous, but hey, sometimes it happens. We're going to Hootie. We're going to Darius. We're going to ETSU, where Darius Rucker has donated $2,980 to ETSU's NIL fund. That's money for the kids playing football and other sports, which is $10 for every second I stood at midfield thinking it was as awkward as y'all did. What's this mean? Well, country music star Darius Rucker recently went to East Tennessee State University to a football game where they have started performing Wagon Wheel in the third quarter for a while, because the city where the actual university is in the song Wagon Wheel, and it's a iconic song. And of course, Darius Rucker made money and fame and really launched his career in country with a remake of Wagon Wheel. So let's bring Darius Rucker to come out and play your Wagon Wheel in the third quarter. Well, not really. He came out, he lip synced to a track, he wandered around, he had a mic on, he just kind of wandered and mumbled, to himself as it played in the speakers. It was awkward. It was weird. It was not what they expected. It wasn't Hootie with the guitar playing in the background. It was just Darius Rucker wandering around the end zone. And for that, for your trouble, for his trouble, for the world's trouble, Darius Rucker donated $2,980, which stands for the 298 seconds that the song played. $10 for every second he stood midfield, playing midfield during Wagon Wheel, making a basic ass of himself. Darius Rucker, thank you so much for your service. Let's move on to mercifully get through the news for the day and talk about how to get more news in the day and the stories you pick. Now, all those stories you had a hand in picking today, and that happened via the process we call vetting in the feeds. The feeds are our sites on Facebook, on X, and on Threads. When you go to Facebook, X, or Threads, what you see is our pages on X, x.com/thisisconversation. I'm sorry, x.com/th_conversation, threads.net/@thisisconversation, and facebook.com/thisisconversation project. Between those, they too. What we do is every 50 minutes or so, we post news articles from across the internet. Excuse me. I definitely need to hydrate today because this has definitely been a slog. And we get you to engage in the news stories. You tell us what stories are worthy of talking about, literally, by engaging, liking, loving, hating, sharing, commenting, reviewing, and commenting more on them, replying to comments, getting into fights with people in the comments, things like that. The higher engagement a score gets, the better chance of talking about it. The high engagement of the score for the man dead in the tanning booth on Facebook got into the story this morning. The fact that we had all those stories and all those nominees from Donald Trump get that attention, and we couldn't just put one or two, we had to do them all. That's how we got that this day. You engage in the stories and tell us what stories you want to hear. Now, the Trump stories do fall along the lines of what the national media is talking about, but the tanning bed story and, of course, Hootie not blowfishing it in East Tennessee, that did not. So now you know, and knowing, of course, is half the battle. You get those extra stories that may be missed in the process of other things happening, and you can make this one happen as well. Now there's a firestorm going on that may be done by the time we get through today, but last Sunday on Fox Sports Sunday, as they did the NFL on Sunday for Fox, the team with Kurt Menefee and the boys were on an aircraft carrier, and they were celebrating with the Navy, preparing for Veterans Day, and they played the national anthem. All the guys were standing with their hands on their heart, except for Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan just stood there somber with his hands in front of himself and didn't put his hand on his heart. And it's become a firestorm because people don't understand there's no rule to put your hand over your heart during the national anthem or to pledge allegiance or any of that stuff. It just is done. If you're in the military, you stand at attention. Many people, former military like myself, we just stand at attention. It's just that we stand at attention to show that we serve, and we take our hats off for that one. There is no rule that you must put your hand over your heart. So as long as you're just quiet and don't say anything, you're fine. Michael Strahan, who is an Army brat and has siblings who are serving in the military in various roles, gave a long Instagram speech on that yesterday, basically telling what was going on. So he was swept in the moment. By the time he realized the music was playing and the other guys had their hands on their hearts, he didn't want to show up late. He just stood there somber and tried to basically stay out of the way. Will we bring this up tomorrow? This is still a big deal to talk about with us here in our conversational pod. Let us know by engaging the story if you want to, or engage in any other story that we're posting all day long, 24/7, every 50 minutes. Look for a headline in our feeds on Facebook, on X, on Threads. And if you give it the love that it deserves, or sometimes the hate that it deserves, we will consider it to talk about. Tomorrow on Friday, we'll give you 8 stories. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just 8 real stories. From the top half of the stories posted in the day, about 15 of those stories from the 30 we get in the day. So if you want to talk straight hand and not putting your hand over your heart during the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, we can do that. Make it so. You have to make it so. Going to our spotlight sponsor, and this sponsor is Zenni Optical, Zenni Optical. Go to our website. This is a conversationproject.com/Zenni. And it's a link there for you to use our affiliate link, so we get a small commission for your use there. All of our sponsors are there. So click on our sponsors page if you want to see any other sponsor there. They're all affiliate links. Zenni Optical is uniquely qualified to take care of you. It takes care of me literally for 10 years for my glasses. I've been buying them from Zenni for 10 years with very affordable lenses, very affordable frames, very great customer service, all the love in the world, and all the things you're looking for in glasses, all the technologies, all the stuff that you don't spend a lot of money on. I literally sat through my insurance open enrollment thing on Tuesday, where our insurance lady told you, get your insurance. You don't have to buy your glasses where you go get your eye exams, because they'll mark them up a lot. So get your eye exam, take a prescription, go to the internet, buy them yourself. Open enrollment right now. As you update your eye plan, your ophthalmology plan, your optical plan, now's the time to get ready for new glasses. If you've been spending a lot of money and don't want to repair or replace the ones you have because they cost a lot of money, if you're a person who actually has not had new glasses in a while because they cost a lot of money, get the exam, go to Zenni Optical. They'll take good care of you. These frames right here are $695. They're basic, they're black, they're what they are. But the frames that look good on me, they work for me, and I've been wearing these same frames for 10 years. Different lenses, different technologies on that end, but they've been taking care of me for all this time. Let them take care of you by going to our website and our link for affiliate commissions. This is a conversationproject.com/Zenni. This is a conversationproject.com/Zenni for Zenni Optical. We're going to speed up the promo part this time because we already gave a big chunk of it when we said the like, share, and subscribe part, but Conversation Project lives at thisisaconversationproject.com. The quick rundown of the calls to action is visit our website. We have various things to look for, including the partnerships link for pages. If you want to be a partner, help us work on things here, we appreciate it. A day like today, we definitely appreciate all the love and support from the partners who directly fund us. Sponsorships page. Buy from our ads, we get small commissions. Replies, replays, offshoots of this show and other shows we do that you can replay and relive if you miss something, and links to all the places we are so you can follow us at the place that works for you. Maybe you're a TikTok person or a YouTube Shorts person, not a Facebook person or an X person. You can see the hot takes, the quick updates, and the news clips on those platforms. YouTube, where we have basically the watershed part, where we basically gauge where things go on, links to there as well if you're watching on this different platform. And of course, links to all the places we are on the internets in audio form, or wherever your pods are catch. You can call us there. And our email newsletter. Right there at the top, there should be a thing that says subscribe to our email newsletter. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the stuff we send to you. It's that simple. That's all the calls to actions for the Conversation Project. Check us out. Also find out some of the history and the mythos behind the Conversation Project. Of course, you can always email us at the conversation inbox at gmail.com to get in your words on what you want to think about us, whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're helpful, whether they're harmful. Sometimes you guys are mean. You probably will be mean today, but we will take it. We take every comment seriously. We read them all. For some reason, we read them all. We take them all into consideration. We thank you guys for joining us for the live version of this, despite its more total chaos and me trying to cram 12 stories into the normal 8 stories. It kind of happened. It happened. How well it is, you tell me in the comments. But we will return in about 5 minutes with things you might ought to know, the fun stuff, birthdays, the celebrations of history, and of course, a fun thing to celebrate for the day. And of course, tomorrow morning with a Friday edition of things you might not have heard. Most likely just 8 stories, and hopefully a better rested Jay Cleveland to give you things that make more sense. A little less computer issues, a little less gas going on, a little more stretching, a little more hydration. If we thank you in advance for showing up tomorrow, we thank you for right now for showing up today, whether you're watching us live or you're watching on a replay down the line today. Let me know what we're doing well, follow us on the feeds, and consider being a partner, even on a show like today. Goodbye. Good luck. Love each and every one of you. We'll see you for a Friday edition. tomorrow.